G'day ladies and gentlemen, my name's Isaac Butterfield. This is Little Dixon.
Hello! Welcome to True Crime Tuesdays. So today we are covering the case of missing person and now sadly deceased Gabby Petito. Gabby Petito was a 22-year-old YouTuber and travel vlogger. She lived a van lifestyle with her fiancé Brian Laundrie. And this is the story of what happened to Gabby Petito.
And this story is everywhere.
It is everywhere. It has captured everybody around the world.
And everyone's talking about it. There's a lot of people saying, oh no, why aren't you talking about other missing people? Or was it just because she's a white girl? It's because she's like quite famous, right? She's got a lot of followers.
She's got a platform. She's relatable.
And all these people who were watching her have just seen her go missing.
Yep.
And, you know, they're watching her vlogs with her and a boyfriend, husband?
Fiance.
So, you know, everyone's watching these vlogs and stuff, and then all of a sudden she's gone.
Yep.
And this is why there's a lot of attention around it.
Yeah. Let us start this video by saying this is not at all what we had hoped for in the bizarre disappearance of 22-year-old Gabby Petito. Unless you've been living under a rock, I'm sure you've heard about this awful disappearance, either online or on TV. However, if you haven't, be fair warned, it is truly heartbreaking. We wish to cover this video with respect, empathy, and also to highlight young Gabby's life. During this video, we are simply stating our opinions and speculations.
And believe it or not, we're not detectives.
No!
We're just greyhound parents. Isn't that right, little Dickie?
Yes, adopt a greyhound.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. Let's start from the very beginning. On the 19th of March 1999, a beautiful little baby girl was born in America. Gabby and her family lived in Blue Point, Long Island, New York, a small, sleepy and family-friendly town that is almost village-like. Gabby graduated from high school in 2017 and then began dating a boy called Brian Laundrie. They soon moved in together and were living with Brian's parents in Northport, Florida. Recently, in July 2020, they were engaged. On the 17th of July, 2021.
The couple, along with Gabby and her family, were in Blue Point, New York for Gabby's brother's graduation. After a few days, the happy adventure-seeking couple packed their lives up, converted their 2012 Ford Transit white van, and headed off on what seemed like the opportunity of a lifetime.
I know we've spoken about this before, not so much about this case, but I've never understood the van life. That's just not for us.
No.
Like we you know, if I don't get 9 hours of sleep, I'm
10.
a mess. Like a mess. Dixon's the same.
I need to sleep.
If we don't sleep, life doesn't happen, all right?
No, we're just like greyhounds.
We are. I just don't understand why people want to do the van life. And we've got people we know that are doing the van life. People who are travelling around Australia in a van at the moment. If you're watching this, shame on you. Yeah. That's weird.
I can appreciate it, and I get it maybe for I think for a really small amount of time, it might be enjoyable.
Like 6 or 7 hours.
Not even that.
No,
maybe like a day at the beach in a van. It'd be all right. Not at the beach. No. Scratch that. I think it would be fucking awful. I don't know. I'm trying to be positive about it, but I don't think I'd like it in the slightest.
But just because Gabby and her boyfriend, fiance, did this, it doesn't mean we have to agree with what they did. I mean,
no, I think that she did it in a way that it was almost a career move as well. Like she was starting up this YouTube channel. They just started a website, and it was sort of like her new identity. She was a young girl, and she was wanting to have this lifestyle, which I think's really good. She wanted to have a really adventure-seeking, no strings attached, live in the moment lifestyle, which most people dream of. And her and Brian went for it, and they thought, "Fuck it, let's do it."
Yeah, I think for me, it's if you travel to the beach, the sand that's in the bed.
Oh.
Not for me.
We don't tan well. We're not.
No, we're very white.
We're not beach people.
We burn immediately. Anyway, sorry to interrupt the story.
Throughout their travels, the couple documented all of their adventures on Instagram and their YouTube account and an upcoming website. This all almost sounds too good to be true. A young, happy, adventure-seeking, sun-seeking couple off to go live life to the fullest, sleep under the stars, find the perfect cave, and swim in the warmest rock pools, all whilst capturing these amazing visions and experiences on their phones and cameras for the world to see. From all accounts, they were a normal, fun, down-to-earth, adventure-seeking young couple. Gabby and Brian's family and friends have stated that allegedly the couple was perfectly happy, normal, and just wanted to enjoy life.
But how often do you hear that, and not suggesting that the dude did it?
No.
Because we don't know at this point. There's a lot of speculation that he may have.
Yes.
Anyway, how often do you see like a couple that, or yeah, I guess
Picture
a couple,
perfect.
picture perfect,
Yeah.
but in the home or in the van, there's
very
horrible
small
things going
van.
on.
A very small van.
I mean, how long were these guys together? Like only a couple of years?
I want to say like 2.
I think that makes or breaks a couple. You learn a lot about someone by living with them. And either it makes you, pushes you apart, or like when we moved in together, brought us closer together. And I think that is like sort of what makes or breaks a couple's trajectory towards a happy marriage or family or whatever. So maybe this is sort of alluding to the fact that on the outside they were, happy and positive, and they were in that mindset. Like when I shoot a YouTube video or we shoot a YouTube video here, we can be we could have a headache, or we could be really tired, or we could be whatever. Or
my stomach's a bit off this morning,
your
to be
guts are
brutally
off.
honest.
Your guts are
I
off.
feel my guts are churning a little bit.
And-
I'm not going to lie.
But you got to put on that face and say, "G'day, and all that stuff."
But we're here. We're all
here.
right.
But when they do it, they do the same thing. They might have just had a big blue, and then they go, "Well, we've got to put up an Instagram story."
I think
Hi!
That's very, very accurate. And I feel like just from researching Gabby and looking into so much of her life, still not knowing her, but I feel like a lot of her her presence online was almost too perfect. And I don't mean that as a insult or anything like that, but I feel like she was trying to show that this lifestyle's great, that it can change your life doing these things, and I feel like she was trying to portray that it was like a happy, really like
where it could have been, but maybe. We don't know at this point what actually happened. There's other things that come into play with evidence that suggest that it wasn't that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you just don't know at this point until the case is solid and locked away and the perpetrator is locked up. You just don't know.
Here's a little look into how wonderful Gabby lived her life before her disappearance and sadly murder.
From delving into Gabby's personal Instagram, she honestly looked like to be having such a fun, outgoing, and free-spirited time. She was a young woman living her life. She had a beautifully scripted tattoo that read, "Let it be." She loved exploring. It seems very evident that she had a beautiful sense of wanderlust and craved new experiences. She loved to draw, eat out at cute little cafes where she enjoyed many a coffee and an avo on toast. Gabby was clearly good with a camera too. It seems Gabby was a romantic person who saw the best in others and saw the world as a sphere of endless joy and adventure, just waiting to be had.
Now we know a little more about Gabrielle Venora Petito. Let's discuss what we know as facts, why we are here, what happened to Gabby. Gabby and her fiancé were on their way to Yellowstone National Park to camp. By all accounts, Gabby was super excited to be on another adventure, continuing their van living lifestyle, adventure seeking and sightseeing. On this particular day, the seemed to be happy, carefree couple were driving their white converted van on their way to Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming, USA. According to police footage, the couple get pulled over for allegedly speeding and swerving into the road, all in plain sight of a patrol car. Also, the police officer witnessed Brian allegedly slapping Gabby. The distressing footage of Gabby crying has been seen online and on TV. This disturbing footage just goes to show how upset Gabby was that day.
I didn't know that the police had apparently seen, like, her being hit.
Slapped.
Yeah. Or being swerving over the road. Like, if you're in a car, the only reason you swerve over the road, unless you're drunk or whatever, is because you're having a big argument with the person inside or something. Like, that's what I imagine would be happening, and the reason that they... And that footage, like, she's crying and she's so upset, and obviously something terrible has happened. And that's what everyone's seen.
It stems from apparently Brian having... Which I get, but... Apparently Gabby liked things a certain way. She was a bit of a neat freak. Self-confessed that she had OCD. This later has been, her dad said, she used this as a slang word. She meant she was OCD as in she likes things really clean in particular. She doesn't actually have a diagnosis of OCD.
Yeah,
however...
How bad does OCD have to be to fucking hit your partner?
He had sand on his feet and apparently wouldn't let Gabby into the car until she calmed down. So he locked her out of the car before they went on the road.
Fucking alarm bells.
Alarm bells. And she was upset and saying, like, let me in the car. And he was threatening to drive off unless she calmed down. Allegedly.
Yeah, so that's just a childish sort of, like, angry little boy mentality.
Chris Watts vibes, don't come for me.
Everyone's saying this week Chris Watts vibes. I was like, what is Chris Watts? But then it's the show on Netflix that we watched, and most people watched. What is that show? Can you remember? Anyway, it's a great Netflix documentary.
True, you'll know. Yeah. The people will know.
He killed his wife and kids, right?
Yep.
And he played up this big piece like, no, man, we're a loving family, and like he's on camera and all this type of stuff, and he ended up being the one that killed them, and that was
hope he's rotting in a cell.
But I guess it goes to show that you can put up a front.
Yeah.
And the reality of the situation can often be hidden.
Yeah.
According to the video of the couple on police cam, Gabby says, quote, "I'm sorry, we've just been fighting this morning. Just got some personal issues." Gabby states whilst being spoken to by the police officer outside of their van. Gabby goes on to say the following: "Some days I have really bad OCD, and I was just cleaning and straightening up the van, and I was apologising to him for being so mean." It's worth noting at this point that Brian would go on hikes, walks, barefoot. He constantly had pretty dirty feet. Gabby then goes on to explain why the car swerved by saying her distress and their fighting was the cause. Brian reported the same, saying how worked up his fiancée Gabby gets sometimes. Gabby also states that she had a stressful morning working on her YouTube videos and was also cleaning their van. Now, let's now move on to what Brian said to the police as to why they were swerving and fighting and all that type of business, and see if it aligns with Gabby's.
Brian shows scratches from where Gabby allegedly hit him and scratched him out of frustration. He pushed her back, claiming it was self-protection and self-defense. It is at this stage still unclear what else, if anything else, the couple were arguing about. The couple both said to the two police officers that neither of them wished to press charges. At the officers' suggestions, the couple were advised to separate for the night. No phones, texts, nothing. Take a breather from each other, not be around each other.
How do you do that when you're in a van, travelling around by yourself?
Find a motel.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. I think it's so stupid advice. It's just so stupid.
So you've seen that there'd been in a domestic case or domestic violence.
Just separate for the night. She'll be right.
Yeah. But like, okay, so...
Dodgy to me.
All the signs point to Gabby being the one who, at this point, who was violent, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct in saying?
Yeah, in a way.
Somewhat. But we don't know what caused it actually. But wouldn't you think that as a police officer... You've seen one partner be violent to the other one.
Slapping her.
Yeah, right. So, he slapped her in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I completely forgot about that.
And he has a few scratches on him.
Yeah, and he's got scratches on him. So they're both doing things that are not a positive thing to do in a relationship.
No, they were both in the wrong. Absolutely.
Why would you just say, hey, you guys separate and then we'll be on our way?
I don't know.
Obviously, that's not going to end well.
There was one little bit of footage where one of the police officers was actually really nice to Gabby and said, look, we're not going to press charges. We know you guys are really young and in love and having a heated argument, blah, blah, blah. And he said, I'm going to put the aircon on, get you a water, go sit in my van for a little bit while I talk to your partner. And so he was quite nurturing to her, and I think he just thought they had a mad Barney about something. But I don't know, the fact that they saw Brian slap this girl and then said, hey, just separate for the night, get an Airbnb for the night.
If you hit your partner or if you hit your girlfriend or your fiancé, you're locked up. In my eyes, you have to be locked up.
Yeah, boy or girl, whoever fucking did it.
You're a grub.
Yeah.
Don't hit people.
No.
Simple as that.
No.
One of the police officers involved said this: After evaluating the totality of the circumstances, I do not believe the situation escalated to the level of domestic assault as much as that of a mental health crisis, said Officer Daniel Robbins. Obviously now with the benefit of hindsight, that
to be fair, he
was the wrong move. But,
and he might have been the other copper that didn't see
but how many,
Brian slap him. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to look at it.
Yeah, how many of these cases did these coppers come against?
Yeah.
And how many end up in a death that may or may not have been responsible, or the person may not have been responsible as the other partner. You might see them every day or every second day.
Yeah, probably.
Is that the protocol, to just separate them and then move on with your life?
Yeah. And he probably also thought they were these loved up young people. They're not going to break up anytime soon. He's going on about how much he loves Gabby and all this, and then she's saying that she loves him, and this, I don't know.
I just don't like the idea that, oh no, they're just really in love and they're fighting and that's what couples do.
If someone hits you, they do not love you.
No.
They don't even like you. They don't think you're worth anything.
If you are a young woman or a young man and your partner hits you, or an old woman and an old man, you need to leave that person
immediately.
Fucking now. Like, that's terrible. That is not what love is. That is the complete opposite of love. And if that's what your partner thinks love is, then they're a fucking horrible person.
Gabby Petito was described by police as being confused and very emotional. This was all on August 12th. Fast forward to August 26th. Gabby uploads a series of lovely photos to her Instagram captioned, "Happy Halloween." Sadly, this would be the last thing Gabby would ever post.
Happy Halloween?
Yeah. It wasn't Halloween yet, but she put up a photo and it was really nice. Okay. And she's holding this little, I think it's like a fabric pumpkin. And she just said, "Happy Halloween." It is Halloween soon. I've put up Halloween things myself.
I haven't. I wait until the date because I'm that type of Instagrammer.
Yeah, well, Gabby and I aren't. According to Gabby's mother, she was quite frequently in contact with her family whilst on the road. At least 3 times a week she would FaceTime or text her family with updates on their wonderful adventures. In a news conference, Gabby's family attorney, Richard Stafford, said the family's last communication with Gabby was on August 30th. However, they do not believe the text message they received from their Gabby was from their Gabby at all. The text message read, "No service in Yosemite." This short, blunt message was seemingly out of character for Gabby. What was wrong with their Gabby?
The last time Gabby spoke to her mother, she said that they were heading to Grand Teton National Park on the way to Yellowstone. At this point, Gabby's phone is switched off. A few more days pass. No word, no phone, no activity from Gabby at all.
It's now the 1st of September. Brian is heading back home,
where he and his fiancée Gabby both lived, with his parents in Northport. However, for some reason, he is alone. Where is Gabby? This is the question that seemed to be on the lips of everyone in the world. On September the 11th, the Petito family, now really worried for their 22-year-old daughter, call police and report Gabby as a missing person.
So at this stage, Brian's come home on his own. Why has he not mentioned to anyone that, hey, Gabby's missing? He hasn't contacted police. He hasn't phoned her mum saying, hey, look, we had a fight. I don't know where she is. He's come home seemingly fine on his own without the love of his life.
I can sort of understand why he wouldn't. Maybe he'd feel awkward about calling the mother or the father or Gabby's family.
Yep.
But after a while, you'd have to say something.
Yeah. And at this point too, he is an innocent man. So who knows? They may have had a really big fight and he's gone, we need to break up. I can't do this anymore. He drives home and Gabby's out on her own. We don't know. And
that information would be handy to anyone investigating the case, whether it's the family or the police, to know that, okay, we parted ways here, we parted ways there. Yes. She may be on foot, or maybe she met up with someone else or something like that. Just some information, but to say nothing.
And head home on your own.
Even if you have a huge fight, you'd still care about the person enough to get them to a safe place.
You'd want to think so.
Surely. You can only imagine how helpless and scared the Petito family were at this point. What was going on? Was she okay? Where was she?
On the 14th of September, Brian's family released a statement which says the following. On behalf of the Laundrie family, it is our hope that the search for Miss Petito is successful and that Miss Petito is reunited with her family.
What a weird thing to say.
Exactly. I jotted that down and I was like, oh my God,
What did
that
it
is
say?
so insensitive. Like, it's not, there's no emotive language in that at all.
On behalf of the Laundrie family.
Sorry, Brian.
It is our hope that the search for Miss Petito is successful. Why would you don't need to say that.
Imagine if I went missing and your family was like,
They put out a
it is
statement."
our hope that Miss Dixon returns safely. It's like, no, wouldn't you say like we're devastated, we want to
Yeah.
know where our future daughter-in-law is?
It isn't just some random.
Yeah.
That's something you say if your neighbour goes missing.
Yeah, we love our
We
neighbours,
love our
not
neighbours,
ours.
but sorry guys.
yeah.
But if like the neighbour you
Yes.
hate goes missing,
Yes.
we hope the neighbour you hate, successfully found.
Oh,
yada,
we
yada,
heard
yada.
that. You don't say that about someone you deeply love and that your son's, he's going to be married to
That you've
eventually.
known for a number of years now.
Oh, I didn't really get. You never know though. In a lot of these cases, it's like the lawyer advises them to show no emotion and to say a really scripted thing. But I just feel like, in this particular case, I feel like they could have shown a little bit more empathy towards.
Just a touch.
Just a touch.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. It is also worth noting that Brian and the Laundrie family's lawyer stated that the Laundries would, quote, be remaining in the background during the investigation. To me, this personally appears odd.
Can I just interrupt? It's definitely not Laundries, is it?
I think it's Laundrie.
Because you can't go the Laundries. This is what the Laundries had to say.
This is a serious video, but I think it is. I think it might be Laundrie.
How do you spell it?
But we're too far gone now.
No, it's spelled Laundries.
It looks like laundry.
I don't care if you think it's Laundry.
I'm not a fan of Brian. Don't at me. So I'm going to call him Laundrie.
Old Laundry boy.
Laundry boy.
So what now? Potential witness Miranda Baker claimed in a TikTok video that she and her boyfriend gave Brian Laundrie alone a lift in Grand Teton National Park on August 29th. Miranda claims that Brian told her and her boyfriend that his girlfriend Gabby was working on YouTube videos alone and was staying alone in their van. So Brian apparently decides that he will go camping alone to give her some space to work. In an interview with ABC News, Miranda says the following. He got out and he was thankful and he was kind of in a hurry. Brian thanked the couple for the lift, crossed the road and said to the couple that he would look for another lift. When the couple looked back, Brian was nowhere to be seen.
So many things in this case just don't add up. So many unanswered questions, so many emotions. Sadly, as we now all know, Gabby's body has since been found in Wyoming National Park. Even more devastatingly, the coroners have ruled Gabby's death as suspected homicide. 2 people go on a van adventure and only one is safe and alive. Since the announcement of Gabby's heartbreaking murder, the internet has come together almost like a family, hoping to spread Gabby's story and find answers the Petito family deserve for their little girl. There is now officially a manhunt to locate Brian Laundrie. He has not been seen since arriving back to his parents' home. Brian's parents have told FBI that they haven't seen or heard from Brian and that he was heading off on a hike alone in the Carlton Reserve. Brian has not been seen since. Whatever happened needs to be explained, whoever is at fault. The Petito family, Gabby's friends, and the world deserves answers on what happened to beautiful, free-spirited Gabby Petito.
So, let's discuss this whole situation.
Lots to unpack.
You were going to tell me about a bounty hunter?
I'll find it. Dog the Bounty Hunter is at Brian Laundrie's house.
Not Dog the Bounty Hunter.
People saying, is this real life? And he's knocked on the door. And someone said he was literally knocking on their door, LMFAO.
I know Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Personally.
No, but I used to watch his show on Fox 8 back in the day.
Well, he's now involved,
Good
allegedly.
grief. Well, the case is about to be solved, probably by the time we upload this video. Obviously a horrible case. A young lady's been murdered. They found a body only a few days into the investigation, right?
Yeah.
Like we were all sort of, we found out about it through, the online community, everyone talking about it. And you mentioned something to me this morning whilst I was brushing my teeth about someone on Channel 9 in Australia cracking the shits about online people being involved?
Yeah, it didn't sit well with me. On Channel 9, some attempted journalist was saying that internet sleuths and armchair detectives, which I personally thought was a little bit slack. She said they're trying to get clout, they're trying to get fame online by trying to help with the case, and I just think that is absolute bullshit. Sure, maybe a little, like 1% of people are wanting to get like a viral TikTok about talking about the case, but I genuinely believe that the people that have been uploading things actually care about Gabby and want answers, and these TikTokers that have put up things like with potential sightings of Brian,
it helps.
They want to help.
Yeah.
And some of these leads have actually helped police in finding the van. They found the van because of a TikTok.
Really?
All sorts of
what
things.
What the fuck are the news talking about?
And Channel 9's going on. Old Love's like, oh, these internet sleuths in their armchair. I'm like, Love, you probably don't do your own research.
No, she's just reading a script. Shut the fuck up.
And they're like, laughing about all these internet people. And I just thought, no, I don't really agree with that.
No, it's everyone coming together to try and find the killer of a girl who's been...
There's no malice in this. It's not people genuinely care. We have all teared up, if not cried, over this case, and it is disgusting. And I just don't think it's right for a journalist on some shitty channel to be like,
you said, who probably doesn't do their own research, doesn't care.
No.
And the fact of the matter is...
She had no emotion at all. She was like, Gabby Petito.
In that fake newsreader voice.
Yeah, and I was like, do you
Petito.
even know what Gabby was... Not that we do personally, but she wouldn't have known that, Gabby's favourite food, Avo on toast. We know that. Because we care enough to look into the case, because we want to know what happened to Gabby. We genuinely care.
Yeah.
As does the rest of the internet community.
You got to remember that the news hates this idea of new media.
Oh, don't they?
They hate it. They hate the idea because everyone's eyeballs are going towards YouTube and the internet rather than their stupid heads. Anyway.
Well done to the armchair detectives,
Yeah,
I
fucking
say.
oath.
I reckon you guys are amazing, and I think that the fact that people online care this much about these cases, I find really, really heartwarming, not heartwarming. Heartwarming. But I do.
Yeah, no, they're doing good things and they're trying to help the family.
Yes.
A lot more than what Channel 9 is trying to do. They're just trying to report it and get people to watch their ads between the news. So,
losers.
Do we have a bit of a theory to wrap this video up as to what happened?
Well,
this is all obviously...
This is speculation.
This is
our
opinions, etc., etc.
Yes. Gabby's best friend, I believe her name was Rose, she has apparently said to police that she believes Brian is on foot somewhere out in the wilderness and that he could survive for up to a month because he has gone off the grid before, and she believes that if he is out there and he is alive, it'll be hard to find him.
Especially if he's on the run. Like, if you look at his Instagram, he is a painful dude. He's always talking about biodegradable.
Very self-righteous.
Like,
very self-righteous.
I was reading his Instagram. We were reading the other night, and he's just like, shut the fuck up, mate. But, when you put into the context of the fight and the pull over by the police and her emotional state when she was pulled over by the police...
Mind control vibes come to... Yeah,
is that like...
He seemed controlling, my opinion.
You've used the word and you've explained the word gaslighting to me.
Yes. Now, he's a narcissist too, my opinion.
Yeah, people use the word gaslighting all the time and they probably throw it around a bit too much. But
yes, definitely.
The idea that everything is Gabby's fault, everything is because of Gabby, it's her OCD that's the problem. Is that basically the definition of... Is that gaslighting? I still don't understand
it was, and I think that Brian, when talking to police, came across to me a little bit patronising, saying that, Gabby gets worked up, she gets overly emotional sometimes. And I'm like, dude, you wouldn't let her in the car.
Yeah.
Of course she's going to be emotional, and clearly she's in a really, she's feeling upset. He's got his gross feet fucking up all the cleaning she's done, not letting her in the car. She's trying to get all this work done for them, probably, with dreams of buying a house and doing all these things. And he's carrying on like a pork chop.
But I get, like, the whole freaking out about the feet thing. Like, I know from when I was a kid, if Mum had just mopped the floors and cleaned the house and I walked in with dirty feet, she would crack it.
Yeah, mine too.
And now as an adult...
We get it.
Oh! But yeah, it's obvious that something has gone wrong. In most of these cases, obviously... the partner is the first person to be questioned by the police, and the fact that they can't question him because he's disappeared off the grid,
he just wouldn't help police. It doesn't.
Come on,
Brian, if you're innocent, it's not looking good. Also, I saw today on another news thing, the news site that Brian they're saying like there's a manhunt for Brian. So first thing that came to me is like, okay, so police think he's done it. Like they're looking, they are doing so much work to find him. But I saw this other little article pop up. I don't know if this is true or not. You guys in the comments might say if it is or not. But apparently they're saying they're on the manhunt for Brian because he used a debit card that wasn't his, up to $1,000.
So is that just giving a reason to arrest him? Is that like, when we watch crime shows and it's
the warrant
maybe that's why they got a warrant.
Okay.
Maybe,
yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe.
But maybe you guys could let us know in the comments section below. Did you have anything to add before we wrap up?
I think that the main thing with this video, as well as us speculating and really investing into the case, is to go back to basics and realise that a beautiful young girl has died. She genuinely seemed like an awesome person, and she seemed really, really, really lovely. And I think that the world's really fucking lost on this one, that Gabby's not here anymore. I think that it's devastating.
And I think we can learn, or we should know, and this should cement it for most people, that if you are in a relationship where someone is violent or abusive or aggressive
or emotionally abusive,
controlling, that type of shit,
if someone puts you down,
all that type of stuff.
It's not normal.
It's not normal.
You shouldn't put up with it.
We live in this society where it's normal for a husband and a wife to yell at each other.
We talk about this all the time.
That is not fucking normal.
It's not normal.
You're allowed to have a disagreement or an argument, but to yell at each other all the time, that's not fucking normal.
No.
Get help or get out. Dixon, a very well written video. Congratulations. I know you worked hard on that.
Thank you.
Little Dickie has been busting her lady balls to get this video out for you guys, so good on your love. On fire. And
I'd also like to just add one more thing.
Of course.
That this is an ongoing case, so whatever we're uploading when this goes up, if there's something that's slightly wrong with the dates or something comes out being different or there's new leads, I'm sorry if it's not in this, but I wanted to get it out quickly because I want people to, have this information out there. I want us to try and help solve Gabby's case. I want us to also, try and remember her for what she was, not for what happened to her. And I think that Gabby deserves her work to be seen as well on YouTube. And
she, 22 years of life and one horrible event.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of positives to come out of Gabby's life, and that's how she should be remembered, not for a lady who was murdered by some insane human being.
She wouldn't have wanted that,
whoever that was. No.
She seemed such a...
No, she doesn't want to just be...
She was like a fairy. She seemed like such a free, cool, really, really, kind person.
Yeah, so it is a very sad end to the video, but ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. My name's Isaac Butterfield. This is Little Dixon. What a legend. Go follow her on Instagram. Toodaloo au revoir. Bye-bye.
Bye. Rest in peace, Gabby.